So for the neck, there's a neat trick you can do. So there's a little trick for the female eye. You can find various styles for the eye. It won't look as good. Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. So last time we covered the pen tool and the bend tool. So today we're going to apply some of the concepts of it and make a flat illustration, or you can say a flat portrait in Figma. So we're going to start with having a reference. You can go to Unsplash and find some references. So I'll be using this one here. Just search portraits here, or if you have the Figma plugin, the Unsplash plugin, you can use it and find a portrait or a photo inside of Figma also. So let's use the plugin and import our photo here. I'll just open up the plugin and search for a portrait. And let's use this one here. I chose this one because it's simple and it can be very useful for the purpose of the tutorial. You can use any of these available here or your own photograph. I'll be talking about choosing a reference in the end, so make sure you watch that also. So let's go with this one for now. So I'll just select and resize this. Let's place it in the center, enlarge it, and so I've placed the image and I'll just adjust it or crop it, and let's name it. It's always good to name your layers. So let's name it reference, and I'll lock this so we don't accidentally move it away. So as we already discussed about the line tool and the pen tool in the previous tutorial, I'll be going directly into using it and making the shapes, and start by making the shapes of the face. So drawing a portrait with Figma is really simple if you don't go into the details and just see the face as big shapes instead of all the details. So I'll show you how to do it, and you can open up Figma and continue with me. The reference for this image will be in the description, or you can just open up your image and start copying or start doing it alongside me. So we'll start off with the face. So for the face, we'll make a rectangle, and let's go into edit mode, add one point here, and let's drag it down. So here we have a very basic shape for the face. Let's add a few points here and here, and let's adjust it to match the face shape of the face. While making portraits, it's hard to see what's in the background and where your shape is going. So a neat shortcut is Shift plus X, which shifts the shape, fill and the stroke. So if you press Shift plus X, it switches between the fill and the stroke of the shape. So I always use it like this. When the stroke is showing and there is no fill, it's easier to align the face like this. So this is very beneficial. When you are done with it, you can just invert the stroke and fill, and you have a filled shape that is perfect to the proportions of the face or the thing you are copying. So we have a basic shape of the face. So let's edit the points and get the roundness as well. While in the pen tool, you just have to have selected the move tool and press Ctrl to convert it into the bend tool. You can use the bend tool also, but then you cannot move the points. So what I like to do is select the move tool and press Ctrl while you hover over the line or the node. So this can convert the point directly into a curve. And if you select a curved point, it will convert it into a sharp point. So we'll use the pen tool and let's adjust it to the face. if you have an angle like this where you don't want it to mirror, you can press and hold the Alt key and then move one of the anchor points, and it won't affect the other anchor point. So it's pretty beneficial also. So control for making it, converting the node, straight node into a curved node, and Alt to track individual handles. So I think we've got the basic shape of the face. Let's fill it in. So while selecting the shape, you can press the I key to select the color picker, and I have the colors here already. You can directly select from the reference also, but I tend to find that these colors were a little dull, so I tweaked the colors and selected them already, so I have them here. So select your shape, grab the color picker and fill it in. So when you're working with the line mode only, so you'll notice that the color of your shape is filled in, but it's filled in the stroke only. So you just have to select the shape and press Shift plus X. So you'll get the color in the fill section. So you don't have to go in and add a fill, just press Shift plus X and the color will shift. So let's shift it again because we'll be using it later on. This way it's easier to work. So let's name it face and lock it, and let's go to make the hair. So select the pen tool again, and this time what we'll do is we won't go and trace all the hair like it is, like in the curves and all. We'll just add straight points, straight lines, and we'll just make a basic shape out of it. So just add a basic structure of the hair, and then we'll go into editing it. If you see in the pen tool tutorial, you already know that it's easier to add the lines first and then edit it with the pen tool, and not the other way around. It's hard to add right curves at the first place. So we'll just add straight lines here and then use the pen tool to make the points, to make the lines curvier or add curvature to the lines. So let's start here. I'll just increase the stroke so it's better visible. Let's change the color to something that's visible. Yeah, red is fine. So first of all, let's convert the point into mirrored points. I'll do it with all the points, and your hair will already start to look a little better. Don't do it on the corners here. So as you see, we haven't edited any of the lines yet, but just changed the points from straight or angled nodes to curved nodes. Now we'll go in with the pen tool and edit some of the paths. So I think it's a good shape for the hair. So we'll add in the color. So this is the color of the hair, and you can just leave it when it's filled to stroke only and not filled in the shape. And when you are done with the image, you just press Shift plus X and it will invert the color to the fill mode. So I see it's not very good here, so let's get in and edit it from here. So I made this point to no mirroring because it was going a little curved here and we don't want it here. Also, let's bring this one in and let's bring this down. I think it looks pretty decent, and let's see how our face looks with this. Let's select our face and press Shift plus X. So looks decent. Make sure you zoom out and see how the full image looks and don't work all the way zoomed in. And let's make this ear also. Let's turn it back to the strokes only. For the ear, we'll just use a simple oval. Let's place it here and rename it. Let's rename the hair also and move the ear behind the face. Select the color of the ear. And yeah, we've got our basic shapes in. Let's adjust the hair to cover the ear. Great. Now when we flip it, we'll see that the ear is covered. Not totally. So let's edit a bit more. That's good. So here we have the basic shapes. Let's add a neck also. For the neck, we'll just use a rectangle and edit it out. Let's move this out. Let's move this out. Use Shift plus X to invert the stroke so we can better see it. Use the pen tool, curve, and that's it. Let's add the torso. We'll use a rectangle, or let's use a polygon. We'll use a triangle. So working with triangles is a bit hard because the shape is here and the bounding box is here. So you can just flatten the shape or use Control E, the shortcut, and then the bounding box will stick to the sides or the corners of it. So let's use this shape here and edit it. Using the pen tool here. Let's add the colors. Yeah, let's rename them also. Here's the neck and here's the torso. So for the neck, there's a neat trick you can do. You need to show that it's above, the face is above the neck. So you can add a bit of shadow here. How you can do it is add a linear fill here, and you can see already the neck is looking like it's below the face. So we'll select the colors here. The top color will be the darker one and the bottom color will be the lighter one. So it gradually comes in from the shade to the original skin color. So here we have it. The neck also blends it. The neck blends in neatly into the torso. So let's make the clothes. Clothes you can use just simple rectangles and edit them out. Use Shift plus X to invert. Go into edit mode. Align the corners. use control to get the pen tool and adjust them, and yeah, looks good. Add in color, use shift X to invert, and there we have it. I'll just duplicate this one to get a copy, and we have another side also. Let's adjust it a bit. Looks decent. So now that we have the basic shapes in, we'll just go in and add the features. The features are the most difficult part of it because everyone has got different features. So the eyes, the lips and the nose will be pretty difficult and you cannot make them using the basic shapes, or let's say it's easier to make them with the pen tool directly rather than using basic shapes to make them. So we'll just rename these and let's group these and let's rename it to shirt, and then we'll move on to create the features. So you can either hide the face or you can hide everything and start working on the features. It's better to lock these also so you don't accidentally move them around. So we are zoomed in into the face and let's start with the eyes. So when you're making portraits, it's not essential to trace all of it and make it look like exactly the same. You can tweak a little things and use basic shapes to represent the eyes, the nose and the mouth also. So for the eye, let's start with the pen tool and you have to trace this basic shape of the eye. It's an almond shape with a bit of extension right here. So let's trace it directly with the pen tool. Let's add another point here, and yeah, so looks good. Also with the eyes, what you can do is you can just create one and duplicate it to get the another one. Yeah, looks good. Let's see if it looks good. Invert it. Yeah, looks good. Let's turn the color to white so we can see. Yeah, looks decent. So there's a little trick for the female eye. You can just not draw the individual lashes and instead use an eyeliner thing to create an illusion of the eyebrow. You can do it with males also, but just keep it a little small and it will be good. Or for the males, just draw this line and you'll be good to go. You don't need to make the individual lashes and it doesn't look nice also. So for the females, what we'll do is we'll create an eyeliner look here. So grab the pen tool and let's try to get this. Way too big. So we'll make it a little short. And adjust it. Let's invert to see how it looks. The eye will cover the most of it. So yeah, looks great. It needs a little bit of tweaking, like here and here. Yeah, that should do it for the eye. And now you don't need to draw the individual lashes here. looks good now, looks better. So for the pupil and the iris, what you need to do is, let's invert this so we can see things better. So you can create a circle, big circle, invert to see what's going on, and now you have a few different options. Let's hide the reference so we can see better what's happening. Let me just fill the canvas with a bit of a color. Yeah. So now what you can do is, you need to copy this shape, the eye shape and the inside shape, and fill it in with the color of the iris, which was blue in this case. Let's use any color for now. You need both the shapes filled in that the mask is correct, and select them both, use as mask. So now you'll get this shape, which is exactly how much of the pupil is going to show inside of the eye. That's one way. Another way of doing it is, select the both shapes, fill them in, make sure they're filled in, and with this shape on top, select these and use as mask. Now they basically look the same, but what the difference is, the color that the new shape gets and the bounding box the new shape gets. So with this one, we have a rectangular bounding box, which is the outer shape of the eye. With this one, we have a rectangular or almost a square box, which is the inner circle. So this one is a little better to work with. You just have to change the color. So you go into selection colors and select the color you have or you want here. So for the inner parts of the eye, you just add another circle. So it will be pure black, and what you can do here is add another shape, which is the shadow of the eyelash. So in the eye, when you place it, you'll see that it doesn't look very good. So let's see, let's delete this one and place this one here. Let's invert these. So what we can do is add another shape right here. So we'll just use a rectangle for this, color pick the black color and go into edit mode. Now use the pen tool to roughly align it to the outside or the edges of the eye. Don't go into pretty much every detail because you won't see it and it doesn't even matter. So it's kind of this shape, and when you zoom out, you'll see it already looks better than what it looked without this shadow thing. Also, one thing you can do is add a linear gradient to this, the same concept, because the eyelash or the upper eyelid casts a shadow on the inside of the eye. So we'll, instead of using a fill here, we'll use a linear fill. So the upper portion will be a little darker and the bottom portion will be 100% white. Let's make it a bit dark. It might look a bit unusual from this close, but when you zoom out, you'll see that it looks completely natural and completely good also. So we'll delete all of this and create it from the scratch. So that's just a revision for you. Let's delete all this. Let's add our image reference and let's start working on it from the start. So we have a basic eye shape, we have a round circle for the inside of the eye, and we have a winged eyeliner shape for the actual eyeliner, because we're not going to make the individual eyelashes because they don't look good. me adjust it a bit. Yeah. Okay, better. So we'll duplicate these two shapes. I'll fill in this with the color of the iris, invert it. This needs to be white, invert it. So this basic almond shape needs to be on top of the circle. So I'll move it up and select them both and add a mask. So here we have the inside of the eye. Let's color it up back to blue again, and there we have it. We can delete this circle now and place it inside of the eye. So let's place it, yeah, better. Let's invert this, and here we have a good looking eye. So for the pupil, we'll add in another small circle. You can also hide this to see the placement of it, but it's in the middle of this circle, so you can just eyeball it also. So let's place it here, color it in black, and see, this looks decent, but it looks demonic. So we'll add the shadow of the upper eyelid here. So let's use a rectangle for this. Edit, go into edit mode, align the corners, use the pen tool to get the shape required. Just need to add it in the half of the upper eye, because that's where the shadow is cast upon. So yeah, this is it. Let's color it in black, just a little smaller. And yeah, looks good. This edge is protruding out. Okay, that looks decent. Let's select everything and group it and name it I. You can use the same one here to make a duplicate and shift horizontally. And yeah, let's group them both into a group called eyes. And here we have the eyes without making the individual eyelashes. So let's see how our image looks. Let's turn on everything, and yeah, looks good. So let's turn these off again and work on the nose and the lips. So the lips are pretty simple. You just need two triangles here, and then we'll edit out and make them curvier to make the basic shape of the lips. So we'll use the polygon tool, add a triangle, flatten it to get the bounding box into good position. And here we have the upper lip. Flip to see the exactly where it's coming. And let's duplicate this one, shift it vertically. That's right click and flip vertical and move it up. Let's go into edit mode, make this a curve, and we already have the lower lip, which looks pretty good. Let's edit the upper lip. So we will add two more points here. Let's move them to around here and move this point down, which will give us the basic shape of the lip. Added curves to these points and we have a good looking lip. Let's color these in. I already have the color selected. This needs to be lighter. Let's shift X to see. Yeah, they look good. What you can do to make them look even more better is add a line going across the lip, which is a bit darker in color. As you will see here, this line here is darker than this lip and this lip. So we'll add that just using the pen tool. add a straight line across, and then we can add in points. Oh yeah, this is the basic shape of the lip. This looks decent. Let's color it a bit darker than this color, and let's edit this shape to match this line. This looks better. This looks better. Let's edit the shape also. Add a curve here. Make it a bit below. And yeah. So we got in the lips also. Let's work on the nose. So we'll use two ovals here. One here and another here. And we'll connect it like this as a line connecting these two. So we'll use the pen tool. Add a line here. Edit the line. Make it curvy. And yeah, looks decent. Color all these three into black. Or like this dark color, and looks good. We forgot to add the eyebrows, so let's do that. Lock all of these, hide these. Let's group them. Lips, the nose, and great. Let's add in the eyebrows here. We'll just use a simple rectangle. Add a rectangle, invert it to see it better. Go into edit mode. Edit the shape here, here, and here. Then use the curve tool to get in the basic shape. Okay, that's a decent shape for it. Use the same color as the hair to create it, and here we have another one. Select them both, group, and rename. So we are almost basically done here. You can edit the hair, make it on top to hide these features. One thing we forgot about is the hair behind this and behind this. So let's just add that. We'll use a simple rectangle and edit it out. Okay, that should do. Send it to back and use a darker color. this one. Let's just duplicate this here, and yeah, we're good to go. So you can basically end your flat illustration here, or you can go in and add the details, add even more details like the shadow beneath the eyebrows and the shadow beneath the hair, the shape or the contours of the nose also. So let's add a bit more and then we'll see how it looks. The pen tool. Simple shadow. Use the same color as the nose, as the ear. Let's duplicate, shift, and yeah, shift X and keep it below the eyes, and we have the shadow. Let's group this. You can reduce the opacity a little. Yeah, looks better. And we can also add a contour to the nose. So I'm not really good at this, so I've used a reference image and I've created something like this here. So we'll copy it over and see how it's done. So let's hide everything. The face. And let's make the contour of the nose. So that's the basic shape. Let's round the corners and see how it looks. Now this one, this one, this. Looks good. Let's color it in using this color. Invert the color, and there we have it. Let's turn back on all the layers. And there we have it, our basic flat illustration of the face. Just slap in a background like this, and you can add some more details like this shadow over here. It's just a rectangle, edit it into the shape. Here's another shape, which is the shadow of the hair on the face, and here are some strands of individual strands of hair indicating the shape or how the hair goes, how the hair curls around. So that's basically it. This background image is also from Unsplash. You can experiment a lot with this, and you can find you don't need to copy the exact same style for the eyes or the lips or the nose. You can just draw a simple nose, like add few simple lines and just call it a day, or you can use the shadow method to indicate the presence of a nose. If you need to find some references for how to draw the eyes, if you need some of my photo references, I'll link this Pinterest board of mine from where I draw portraits. That will be in the description. You can find these portraits here. You can go over to my Pinterest and you can find art references board. I'll link this also in the description. In here you can find various styles for the eye. So you can use any of this to get the basic shape of the eye, and you don't have to stick to the basic human eye for making your own portraits. You can stylize it using this or any of these references available. I'll link this down in this description also, so that will be easier to find. Here you can also find some clothes and other references that will also be helpful. A word about choosing your references. I chose this reference because it was pretty simple and it can be classified into shapes as big blocks of shapes. What you don't want to do is, let's give you an example. What you don't want to start with is images like this. You have teeth and you have a big smile. That will be hard to copy. The style of the eyes, the expression, the image is really good, but it's not for beginners. If you're a little experienced, you can try this, but I'll not recommend this for beginners. Also, you don't want something like this with a lot of shadows and a lot of values, because that will be hard for you to make or to copy over. If you select the color from here, it looks good here, but it won't look as good on your images. So that will be another mistake what beginners make, is they just copy or they just sample the color from the image, and then the image doesn't look good because it's all natural. The photo is natural and the image came out good, but when you select it and add it to a flat illustration, it won't look it won't look as good if you don't add all the colors in and all the little details in. Stay away from black and white photos because that will be again hard to make and won't look as good. This type of photo is really good for practicing. It has the contour of the nose also. The hair is pretty straightforward. The ears, the face, the expression is good. This one also. This one is good. You can try this one also. So you can just experiment with different shapes and different techniques, and if you create these and you want me to share these, just tag them, just upload it on Instagram and tag me, and I'll make sure to share and provide feedback if any. Also, if you have any questions, just drop down a DM to me on Instagram and I'll be happy to help. It's Victory Site. The link will be in the description as usual, and I'll see you in the next one.